The search is finally over. What is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to Bring the Juice. The Indianapolis Colts have now officially found their new defensive coordinator. They signed Gus Bradley. Gus Bradley's a guy, he was the Vegas defensive coordinator this last year. He's had some experience as a defensive coordinator. He's been in the league for a long time. He was a Jacksonville head coach, so he has some experience there. Man, Matt, what do you think about this move for the Colts to get a guy who's a little bit more proven in the league? I know they were talking to guys like Chris Harris and some other guys who didn't necessarily have any DC experience, but they went with the guy who has a lot of experience in Gus Bradley. What are your thoughts on this move?
I really, really like this move. It shows me, and we were talking about this a little earlier too. It shows me that Ballard knows there was a problem with our defensive line and them not getting pressure on the quarterback like they should be able to. So when you bring a guy like Gus Bradley in, who was on the Raiders this past season, who was really good at getting his guys to get pressure on the quarterback, it really makes me excited for Kwity Paye, Dio Dangbo, DeForest Buckner, everybody on defensive line, and just their ability to get to the quarterback. I mean, look what he did with Max Crosby this past year. If he can do something like that with Kwity or Dio, this defense is going to be really, really good.
We talked about a little bit the aggressive mindset as opposed to the more passive mindset. I don't know if passive is the right word, but not as aggressive with the Matt Eberflus system. More of that sit back and let them attack you or whatever, and play with high energy, high effort. Whereas it seems like Gus Bradley's more of what the Colts are looking for in defensive coordinator, kind of more of a what Frank Reich is to the offense, kind of what the Colts are looking for a defensive guy that's not afraid to mix it up, be more aggressive in key situations, play more man-to-man. And you mentioned it, get pressure on the quarterback. That's been the Colts thing ever since this era. They have not been able to get consistent pressure on the quarterback. I mean, they haven't been able to get consistent pressure since Robert Mathis retired, since then. It's been that long. So, yeah, I think I like this move from that standpoint. Like, you look at this defense, and the glaring weakness right now is the pass rush. So, it makes you think with a guy like Bradley, who has connections all around the league, he's going to bring in some of his guys, man. And so the Colts are going to get some guys who are proven in this league, some guys who have developed some guys before. So, yeah, I mean, you kind of look through his history here as a defensive coordinator and stuff. I mean, the Chargers always, you always know the Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa and all that. I mean, they were always getting pressure on the quarterback. Jacksonville obviously was as well for a number of years. So you kind of look at his pedigree, and it seems like there's a stud pass rusher or two that come out of his when he's a defensive coordinator. So, yeah, I mean, for that standpoint alone, I love this move.
Definitely. Yeah,
I love this move.
Absolutely. Me too.
And also, like, you look at the Raiders, and I know, like, the stats aren't necessarily, like, the prettiest thing, but also you got to think, the Colts got a lot more talent, beyond the defensive line than the Raiders do, right?
Absolutely. They definitely do.
Yeah. So I don't know. I personally like this move. I'm interested to see who he brings on his staff here. But I think, that was the argument that Derek had made to me. And I saw his point, but I didn't necessarily agree. With a guy like Chris Harris, he's like, does he have the right connections to bring in his guys?
Right.
Whereas Gus Bradley, we don't have that worry one bit. Like, we know he does.
Exactly.
So for that standpoint alone, I'm good with that. Now I'm interested to see, like, some of the guys that they interviewed, like Colin, for example, who just got let go from Jacksonville. Would he be potentially a fit, a defensive line coach? Or a guy like Chris Richard, who we've talked about before. I think he was getting some consideration at DB's coach as well. Like, are some of these guys potentially going to get, some interest from the Colts here to potentially move to Indianapolis? Or is Gus Bradley going to bring over some of his guys as well? And, I would love if the Colts were able to get Max Crosby. I'll just put that out there.
Yeah. And Max, look, you should come to Indianapolis. It's nice. Again, it's a nice area. It's a great place to, raise a family. So if you're going to have a family, you probably would want your kids to live in Indy versus Vegas. It's crazy in Vegas. Vegas is awesome. Look, I love Vegas. I'll go to Vegas for like vacations, but it gets a little crazy at times. Indianapolis, it's very, relaxing. It's calm. It's very nice, So come to Indianapolis, you should definitely do that. But no, I'm very excited. I think we're gonna see a mix of his guys and maybe some other guys we interviewed too for his defensive staff that he's gonna have there. My whole thing is just bring in guys that are going to be aggressive. Look, I love Eberflus, really do. He's a good defensive coordinator. I think he's going to do good as a head coach as well. He's somebody that a lot of people are going to respect. But I think it was time for a change. Let's stop doing the soft coverages when you're up by 10 points or more. Let's keep our foot, on the pedal to the metal, all the way to the fourth quarter. Don't let up until there's absolutely no way anybody can come back. And I'm just excited to see who he brings in. And I think Chandler Jones might be a Colt next year.
Yeah,
This
you think
this
so?
tells me Ballard and
Mm,
them, they're going to go after Chandler Jones and guys like that.
man. That would be incredible if they were to go after a guy like Chandler Jones,
Oh yeah.
man. Oh man. Yeah, but I think they definitely need, like we talked about in the videos, they need to go invest in defensive line.
Yes.
So maybe Gus Bradley's like pounding the table, like, get me a dude. Get me a
Mhm.
dude. I need somebody who can consistently put pressure on the quarterback. I've had it everywhere else I've gone. I want somebody.
Mhm.
Chandler Jones would be a perfect option.
Absolutely.
Also, I would not mind Hassan Reddick.
Yeah.
Like, please.
Yeah.
And
Come
yeah,
Nitty.
either of those guys,
Yeah.
I'm good
Why not
with.
both?
Yeah, why not both?
Yeah.
Bring them all in.
Come
Right.
on.
All right,
Nice.
guys. Well, let us know what your thoughts are on the Indianapolis Colts' new hire at defensive coordinator. Let us know if you like the move, if you're kind of meh, or if you hate the move. Let us know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's going to be interesting to see who he brings in as the other staff. We'll obviously keep you updated on that as well. That'll do it for this one, guys. Take care out there. And as always, go Colts.